Video is for a 1979 Pan Oceanic 37 foot. I'm going to walk around the outside showing a lot of the care that's already been taken to it. The owner has actually done quite a bit of work on the exterior where he's refinished the entire bottom. I'm going to see if I can't get him out here a little bit later to go through some of this with us. It's actually quite above my expertise level. But there are no blisters currently on the boat. I guess it did have two at one time, very minor, that were already taken care of. Jasmine here is absolutely a gorgeous boat. Once again, we have all the owner's manuals that came with the boat. Quite a few logs from the first owner, from actually the beginning when it was purchased in 1979. All the way up until 1999. The mast is also here. It's all been sanded down and refinished. Again, nothing stands out on the outside. Great work all the way through. This is a fiberglass boat. I'm sure the people that are looking at this video probably already knew that. Don't laugh too hard at my video here. We'll go to the top side and look around. If you can believe it or not, I actually had someone ask if that was a removable keel, and I said I'll find out. So that's how it tells you how much I knew about it myself. Don't laugh too hard. We'll just go all the way around here. You can imagine all the time and care it took just to refinish that entire bottom side, quite a bit. Let's go up top and let's take a look around. There we are up top, just going to walk you around the deck and all the way around. Again, there's some finish work needs to be done up here. You can see all the varnish has come off. That all needs to be done, redone. Mechanics wise, everything on the boat works. The owner says that everything has been put together, and as far as he knows, everything does work. Of course, you'll want to obtain a survey on anything that you look at. I may repeat that a few times. I just want to point out the fact that we definitely need to have a survey if you are ultimately the purchaser of this boat. All the rigging comes with it. We do have all the rigging for it. If there is something, happens to be something missing, we will not be responsible for that, but as far as the owner knows, he has everything that goes with this boat. It's been out of water for about 3 years now, so it's very dry and easy to work with at this point. The deck appears to be in very good condition. There's no soft spots that we can tell. Very nice. Let's go downstairs here. Here we are down inside the cabin here. Again, you can see just the potential this boat has. It's just all the woodwork is just amazing. Truly a beautiful boat. This is world class at its time when it was built. Everything's very dry. There's no mildew down here. I guess that was kind of one thing I thought might be down here, but there's not. The owner does keep all these little windows open at all times. You know, there's screens over them so that we don't get any mold or mildew build up inside of here. Again, the woodwork in here is just absolutely outstanding. Does believe, again, everything works down here. Some of the electronics do need to be replaced. They're just outdated. Of course, owning a sailboat, as you know, is a labor of love. So if you get into this one, just know that you're going to have some work to do. There's the solar panel that goes on the back. Please excuse my lack of knowledge. You don't have to comment it on YouTube. I'll do it myself. quite a bit of lack of knowledge on this particular type of boat, but to me it's plainly obvious to see where you can take this. It's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it's really neat. The woodwork is phenomenal. To the front here. All the sails need to be restitched. There's no holes in them or anything like that, but they do need to be restitched, so I'm going to point that out. And like I said, I'm going to see if I can talk the owner into going over some of the things that the boat may need. He's very adamant, you know, about certain things. And again, he's gone through and used a lot of things in here and has determined that, you know, or has told me that so far the working parts of the boat do work. So one thing he mentioned that the fuel tank does need to be cleaned out. He said that there's sludge buildup inside of there, and he tells me that it's common for this type of boat. We'll just go on through. If you have any questions, make sure you give me a call. My phone number is 888-310-7744. Ask for Internet Mike. Out here with the owner of Jasmine, absolutely gorgeous sailboat. Just went through the inside and out, and just wanted to talk to you a little bit today about some of the things that you've done in the past. You had mentioned things that need to be done. One thing I just want to emphasize on the video is that anybody looking at a ship like this needs to have a survey done. It is not the owner's responsibility to tell you anything that he doesn't feel like he should. It's not Pop Yacht's responsibility to investigate the ship. It is certainly the purchaser's responsibility to make sure they are buying a quality vessel. Now, how long have you owned the Jasmine?
4 years.
3 years.
We've got some. Come on in. You can coach.
3 years. On
That's all right. So you've owned it for 3 years. You had mentioned that it had been out of the water for 3 years. What are some of the things that you've done with the boat itself?
The entire bottom was been stripped down to the original factory gel coat and barrier coat, and blisses were taken care of, which there were only one, and the bottom was been totally refinished with Interlux barrier coat, 4 coats on the bottom of it.
If a customer were to go out, because you said you did most of that yourself, I mean, it's obvious that you did quality work. If a customer were to go out and do things like that themselves, you know, what kind of cost would be possibly be incurred? Yeah, at a boat yard.
$3,500.
$3,500. So
34 to 4 in a shipyard.
In your estimation, how long will that finish last that you've done there?
Well, this is just a top coat that's put on to protect the barrier coat, and it can be sanded down and final finish coat be put on the bottom with zincs on the propeller, etc. Okay,
I know that we talked about a few things that need to be done. One of which was the diesel tank. Can you tell me that a little bit about that?
Yeah, she carries 135 gallons of diesel fuel, and unfortunately, the diesel was stored in the boat beyond its date. I've gotten the diesel removed, but sludge remains in the bottom of the fuel tank. It can be easily polished. Many companies do that as a service. I can't get them to come this far out to do a $200 job.
And in your estimation, I mean, you know, just in talking with you, it sounded like the ship, you know, right now would be just really not much time at all in order to have it available to be taken out onto water and used. I mean, how long do you think that would take a person of knowledge that knew what they were doing?
Probably 2-3 weeks of being on it with a helper.
Okay, and then what are maybe some of those jobs that still need to be done at this point?
Definitely. The mast has been stripped down at citrus spruce to bare wood. And so we could remove all the hardware to be put back on and caulked or bedded. As an example, the mast steps all need to be rebedded. So the mast has no hardware on it. It's all neatly categorized in boxes.
Okay, and then one of the things that you had mentioned is that there still needed to you said the boom need to be replaced.
Right, the boom either needs to be replaced or repaired. It's 16 feet long, it's wood, hollow wood, and it incurred a bunch of rot. My fault, left it somewhere and forgot to get it out of the rain, so to speak. But definitely recommend that the boom either be replaced, repaired, a new one made, or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
all
then
the hardware for the boom is intact.
Everybody had, it sounded like this is a tough sale for you. I've gotten that much, that this is very difficult, for a difficult item for you to part with. Why is that? I mean, what makes this boat just so desirable to you, and obviously to the next person that may want to see it?
Well, she's kind of, as you can see, configured as a lifeboat. So the design itself having a canoe stern allows it to be in storms, following seas, etc. She's a very heavy-duty blue water sailboat. She's not made to tie on a dock unless people just want to do that, but she's made to sail. She has a 50-horsepower Yanmar diesel in it, which of course has the 135-gallon tank. The water is 75 gallons in 2 stainless steel tanks.
And then, is there anything, I guess, that maybe you'd want the next person to know that may be unique about the boat, and just like I said, something that we just wouldn't pick up off our advertisement that you'd want to pass along?
The boat basically was built for Oceanic, the company. There was a limited amount of them made, this being one of them, and it was an upscale version of competitive type boats like the Union 76, Tiana 37. I would assume that Oceanic would be probably next in line as far as quality materials.
Okay, so you've owned a number of boats, and I've already gotten that from you. And so when you purchased this boat, you certainly knew what you were buying. Am I correct?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so
she's a very, very high dollar boat, and it seems that I was fortunate enough to buy her at a fairly good price, but then I had to do most of that work. But it's like making a piece of furniture out of wood or plywood. This is not plywood. It's a quality boat. There's no soft spots on the decks, cabins, or anything like that. She just needs, I hate to say that famous TLC, the varnish and the paint, the final coats done to her.
Well, that's really all the questions that we have. We just want to stress the fact that anybody that's purchasing this boat, anything that the owner has said, again, is not meant to be fact. You need to check it out. You need to go through and do a survey and make sure you're buying the boat that you expect to buy. The owner's just giving up some information to hopefully pass along to the next person, because it's a little difficult just throwing things out in just simple advertisements. So again, get a survey. If you are interested in the boat, first of all, make the offer on it, get the survey. If there's any questions whatsoever, those will arise. We do know that we have a quality boat here, and for the next person that's looking at it, certainly you probably know it just from the little walkthrough that I did already. So give us a call.